James Gunn has been out on Twitter talking some stuff. He put the smackdown on the media this last week by saying pretty much most of that nonsense that was put out there is nothing but bullshit. Nobody knows nothing but me.
There was this great tweet from some dickhead rumor monger explicitly saying that James Gunn does not get along with Henry Cavill. And then someone linked...
Den of Nerds.
Pardon me?
Den of Nerds.
Den of Nerds, yes. And then someone linked James Gunn to the comment, and James Gunn said, basically wrong. I thought
Came
that was
in like a
great.
gangster. Yeah, he's like false.
He's great. Gunn is kind of the entertainment version of Musk, in that he's not afraid to dust up a few things, get into a little bit of fisticuffs.
Well, he's having fun. He's not being combative. He's not being a jerk. The one time he was kind of being a jerk was with Den of Geeks. That's like where we finally okay, the claws came out just a little bit. But you got to imagine there's a lot of these rumor mongers out there. Look, and this is coming from somebody who I could have been making videos for the past 6-7 months every time I heard something, and probably be bigger than some of these other scoopers out there right now, because guess what? My shit is at least panned out and been right. But I didn't. I don't care about that shit. That's not what I'm all about. We're more about just reporting the news here. And as I've said, James Gunn has one thing that he was told, at least that I know of, going into his retreat, and that was Superman is a high priority. And that's why when this news came out that, Henry Cavill's done, all this other bullshit, I'm like, says who? As far as I know, he's supposed to be a big part of this. So unless there's been some huge fucking change in the wind that I don't know of, then I don't know what the fuck everybody's talking about. Because what have I been saying for a long time now, Andre, if you're still there?
What? Yeah, I'm here just roboting. No, you've been saying very consistently that Superman is alpha over here. And this is the same thing that James confirmed your reporting. That Superman is among, if not the most important characters going forward. He's one of those they have to get right.
And you know what? This is Hollywood. You don't have to get along with anybody. Everyone knows their value.
Well, great example is this is what, kind of all spawned this whole thing, is this talk of, no Wonder Woman 3. And I said, look, from this rumor that we got, what was it, last Tuesday or Wednesday? Like, all we really got from this rumor is that Patty Jenkins walked. That's it. But They are extrapolating a whole lot from that. And then what did we learn the next day from the rap? Oh, yeah, Patty Jenkins did indeed rap. And not only that, she fit in right into her MO of throwing a fit and walking, which has basically happened, 3 times now? Andre?
Yeah, pretty much. Throwing a hissy fit, like, no, I do not take notes. I'm Patty Jenkins. I'm superior. Therefore, it's going to be like I want it, and exactly like that, or it's a highway.
Bye-bye.
She doesn't accept notes.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Which is funny, because that's exactly what we heard with the problem was with Thor Love and Thunder, is that her and Feige butt heads, which tells me she didn't want to take his notes. And then what happened over at Star Wars?
You mean Feige? You mean Taika, not...
No. Feige over... This is Thor Love... Or did I say Love and Thunder? I meant Thor 2. I'm so sorry. She was supposed to direct Thor 2. The second
Thor the Dark World.
Yeah.
The one that was eventually directed by by Paul Taylor, or what's his name? The Game of Thrones dude.
But the story goes that her and Feige didn't see eye to eye on where the script was supposed to go. And so she walked. And then what did we have happen here recently? She got Star Wars Rogue One. And I've been thinking that was one of those things.
Rogue Squadron.
I did it again, Rogue Squadron. And I think the reason they did that big video presentation is I think that was one of Bob Iger's things. Because if you remember, that was still in that period where he said the buck stops with me and I'm going to be the one who's deciding what movies get made, kind of thing. So, and I think that was one of his babies, and that's why I think she got this big presentation and all that business. But what happened the moment she walked into Lucasfilm's offices and she presented her idea to Kathleen Kennedy, she was hit with instant notes and she walked. Or that was the rumors that they didn't get along. Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet that Kathleen Kennedy said, the lead has to be a woman, brunette, and British. to which Jenkins would have said, "No, I have a different character in mind, and I do not accept notes." And that was
the original exchange
it
went
was
like
supposed to be
this.
Lizzo. That's what Patty Jenkins wanted, was Lizzo.
She handed her a stack of pictures. She's like, pick one of these actresses. And Patty's like, they're all the same actress. And she's like, no, they're not. So that's where the argument started there. So,
and you know, just getting back to Iger's, I remember Iger's quote about him approving movies. And I remember that was a while ago. And I thought at the time, wait a second.
All of 2018.
That's not your job. I was really shocked to hear that, actually, because Disney is such a huge business. And then to suddenly dive into the movie side of things and say that you are going to be providing your own thoughts was, I thought, ridiculous for the CEO of a major corporation. It's like the president of General Motors doing the detail work on the next Chevy Bolt. Was just a stupid thing to say. It made no sense. You've got meetings to go to, board meetings. You've got the parks to deal with. You've got so many moving parts at Disney to then say, I'm going to be approving all the stupid little movies that we're making. I thought that made no sense.
To Paul, what that was the closest that Kathleen Kennedy will ever get to a public smackdown.
Oh, maybe.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. That's exactly what that was. That was, and Bob said, his mistakes have been made. I take responsibility, is what he said. And from here on out,
but you hire people who don't need managing.
Well, that tells us that he couldn't fire her ass, basically.
Well, I guess so. Or you put her off to the side.
That's what they did, actually, Paul, which is funny because they had her working on Blood and Bones for the longest time.
But just recently, you just put her in charge of emptying the kitty litter.
Well, she'd even fuck that up, Paul. That's the problem. She couldn't even do that right.
Ow. That's our
on the other end of it. So then you have the Rogue Squadron, you have the Thor 2, and now you have this situation where we went over what she did. And the short version is she presented her idea. Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca said it doesn't fit with what we're doing going forward, and we'd like you to come back with another take. And I guess they tried to give her some notes, and she was resistant to that, threw a hissy fit and left, and then was so pissy that she sent an email to Mike DeLuca afterwards with a link in it to the Wikipedia definition of character arc. Because as she was storming out the door, she said, you guys don't understand me, you don't get the character, and you don't understand character arc. And then we come to learn what her plan was to once again, bring Steve Trevor back.
Steve Trevor, God almighty.
In the Lazarus Pit. Yeah, it's like good riddance. And in fact, I think Andre put it best as like she basically saved them the trouble of firing her later.
Yeah, that's so dumb. But hopefully Gal Gadot does at least one more.
Well, I think she's got at least a couple more in her. Culture, you're going to say something there, and then I want to get Chris's take on this.
I'm tired of the Steve Trevor thing, man. They ruined it in the second film, and bringing him back a third time would be dumb. I mean, I honestly don't know if this lady is all there. You know, I mean, most people would do anything they could to keep that directorial gig. You know, for one of these big superhero projects.
Massive ego.
There's one thing we should keep in mind, though, because she really subverted expectations, though, because usually what happens is that in the most recent years, you have like the male lead, right? Doctor Strange, but that's just a bait and switch because the story is really about the female character, right? Whereas now we know that the Wonder Woman trilogy was the inversion of that because Jenkins really wanted to make Trevor trilogy.
Funny.
That's true.
Interesting.